Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. The wedding hasn't even happened yet and everything's already a train wreck. Disaster. Okay, so this girl I know from high school is getting married. We're both 22, for reference. In our senior year of high school she got pregnant, with baby daddy A, who will be referred to as Adam. Her super conservative parents kicked her out and she ended up moving in with a friend's family. She barely graduated high school. The only reason she did was because of the generosity and support of our teachers and students who volunteered to help her, which is how we met. We were in the same law class in the morning and she had the worst morning sickness that really affected her ability to be in class. So, I took extra notes for her, tutored her, and brought her stuff if she hadn't come back by the bell. I wasn't the only one who did stuff like this for her, and I know she really appreciates all the assistance we gave her. She had the baby a month after we graduated. She'd signed up for a 911 dispatcher course after high school because where we live it's a good steady job, with opportunity for certificates and promotions. But she didn't realize how intensive the course would be and had to drop out. She started working at a grocery store bakery, just until she had a better plan. Adam started an apprenticeship while working part-time at a hockey rink, and proposed to her literally the day of her 18th birthday, and brought up marriage because it's the right thing to do. I don't really agree with that, but this isn't about me, and she was always refusing. She starts cheating on him after a while, we're all 19 now, and eventually leaves him for another guy because she's pregnant again, and it is far more likely that this guy, baby daddy B, who will be referred to as Brad, is the father of the child. Neither of them can afford lawyers, so getting any kind of custody agreement is a mess, and then their parents got involved and they did a 50-50 split, still not made official. She has the baby, that does turn out to be Brad's, and everything is okay for about 9 months, when she finds out Brad has been cheating on her with his TA. Brad decides to pay child support but doesn't really want contact with the kid, only around holidays and one weekend a month for his parents' sake. She moves back in with her parents, we're all 20 now, who only accept her back because there's grandchildren around. On the plus side, when she's 21, she gets to take that year-long dispatcher course, and passes with flying colors. After working as a dispatcher for a year, we're all 22 now, she meets a police officer we'll call Chad, who's 26 and married. And Adam's second cousin. I can't remember how they're related, just that Adam and Chad are related somewhat distantly. She has an affair with him. Infidelity is super common among cops apparently. She gets knocked up, his wife divorces him, Chad proposes because it's the right thing to do, she accepts. And her parents kick her out again for being a, insert expletive here, she moves in with Chad with her 2 kids. They've started planning the wedding, which, given the background, is something akin to a dumpster fire. Adam is livid. He was desperately in love with this girl and hasn't really recovered from what she did to him, and while she rejected his proposals years ago, she accepted one from his cousin who proposed for the same reason he did. Adam has basically made a call for loyalty in the family, dividing everyone into one who should go, who should give money, etc. Plus they're having trouble planning anything because of COVID. Her parents have outright said that they're not going, along with half of her family, and her younger sister has been going around and sabotaging what plans they can make. She has asked me to be a bridesmaid. I said that I couldn't because I live in a different province now, but the truth is, I do not want to be wrapped up in that clusterfuck in any way. I'm just watching the arguments and events unfold on social media because this is quite honestly the most entertaining thing I've seen all year. It's weird to me that she even asked because we're not friends, we never have been. We were friendly strangers in high school. I just helped her out for one class because she needed help and I could give it to her. I was just being nice. But based on how she turned out, I'm just sad for her. 3 kids in 4 years, and she's alienated so many of her friends and family because of her actions, and I'm torn between feeling sorry for her and putting my head in my hands. Edit 1, first off, all of your comments are hilarious. Second, I'm going to answer some of the common questions. We're from a city with over 400,000 people, she just comes from the neighborhood that is made of either Bible thumpers or white trash, with no in between. But the high school we went to was in a completely different neighborhood than that. Our school had a pretty good sex ed course, and they gave out free condoms and had resources to help girls get birth control, and they had programs in place for if students ever got pregnant/were going to be teen parents. They also had one of those classes with the dolls for girls who were high risk of teen pregnancy, but she wasn't high risk, so she wasn't in that class. I don't know if BC just didn't work for her, or if she never tried it. She started alienating her friends after the affair with Chad came out, because people weren't exactly jumping for joy that she'd broken up a marriage. Chad and his ex didn't have any kids, thankfully, so there were less obstacles. When people weren't immediately ecstatic for her, she started getting very snippy, rude, and was calling the bitches out on social media for not supporting her new relationship or pregnancy. TBH, I'm really worried about her health because having so many babies so close together is just not good for her health, mental or physical. People are also worried that Chad will cheat on her if he'll cheat with you. He'll cheat on you and think she should avoid marrying him so that she can just leave him if it happens. I'll give you updates as they come out, but so far it's just a lot of yelling on social media, mostly from her, some relatives slut-shaming her, and people who are just really worried about her because, as funny as this is, this doesn't seem like healthy behavior. Edit 2. First off, I realized I never gave this girl a name. For the sake of clarity, we'll call her Beth. I realized that I didn't mention this before, but all of these are fake names. Second, to everyone commenting that Chad is at fault for his marriage breaking up, believe me, I'm well aware of that. It is his ex-wife and her family/friends who solely blame Beth. Chad is also older than her and has more life experience, so I do believe that he could potentially be taking advantage of her naivete. However, she is also an adult who is capable of making her own decisions and has chosen to make poor ones in the past. Third, people who are upset that I'm posting this story here, claiming I'm humiliating her. She has been posting about this mess on every social media platform she has since they got engaged in July. She put this out there long before I did, except she did so in front of friends, family, employers, and co-workers, as well as internet randos. Fourth, despite getting engaged in July and attempting to start planning then, I was only asked to be a bridesmaid 3 days ago. I knew that there was a mess going on, but I didn't really pay attention to it until she asked me to be a bridesmaid. I tried to ask what was going on. I said that she should talk to someone, but when she completely brushed me off, I checked her FB and Instagram and found out about all of this. Fifth, I realized that I didn't really talk about how disastrous the wedding planning has been going. See, here you go. They've had to rebook 3 times because venues and vendors kept canceling when infection numbers got worse, even thought their wedding was months away. Beth has been flipping between having the wedding while she's pregnant, saying she's proud of her bump, and wanting to wait until they're born because she feels fat, which is unfortunate because she's been breaking down due to her insecurity on a public platform. Beth is currently 7 months pregnant. Beth's great-aunt was going to give her her wedding dress to wear after she gives birth, but Beth's mom freaked and stole the dress from said aunt before Beth could get it and is now keeping it. The great-aunt says she's too old to get in a fight and has shrugged it off. Chad's immediate family is paying for the wedding and has been cut off by the rest of their extended family for choosing Chad. Beth's wedding colors are pink and green, which is usually a nice combo, but the specific shades don't go great together. They're her and Chad's favorite colors, which is fine, but she literally made a video talking about these colors for 14 minutes on her Insta, and both of her kids are just full on bawling in the background and she's ignoring them, and she's gotten some flack for that. Adam is finally settled into his trade and has now hired a lawyer and is trying to get primary custody and not allow his daughter to go to the wedding. She's planning a Zoom baby shower / bachelorette party and has sent out a registry, and she's asking for crazy expensive things. She's also set up a GoFundMe to help pay for a honeymoon and is making a lot of posts about how no one loves her cause the fund only has $1,267 of the $20,000 she wanted. I'll update when I can, but I'm still in school, and while I do want to help her, she's refused help offered in the past, and there's only so much of this I can take mentally right now. Update: hey everyone, so some stuff has gone down, and it doesn't look like it's over yet. Sorry, I didn't update sooner, but Rona came back with a vengeance and totally messed up plans with uni and family. Anyway, on to the update. From the last update, 16th, lots of ranting and chaotic wedding planning on social media. She found a dress and has decided she will get married while pregnant. They found a local wedding venue that is very lovely, but I'm shocked she's still trying to book stuff with all of their previous venue cancellations. December 16th, her little sister unblocked her to call her a slut and tell her that all her wedding plans were stupid. This resulted in a petty and entertaining Facebook war until the little sis blocked her again on the 17th. December 18th, Beth went nuts on social media because Adam had kidnapped their daughter. What really happened is that because courts are moving at a snail's pace due to COVID and Adam had reason to believe that their daughter was not safe living with Beth, he decided to just not give her back. They don't have a custody agreement, and when Beth tried to call the cops they couldn't do anything because he was kinda right. There were dozens of videos on her various social media accounts of her ignoring their daughter, yelling at her daughter for crying or doing other things that toddlers do. It turns out that everything she needed was bought by Adam: food, diapers, clothes, toys, daycare, while it was open, etc., on top of the unofficial child support he was paying every month, which turned out to be $500 a month, a number I find ridiculous because Adam was already paying for literally everything, because she refused to buy anything for her daughter and insisted it was Adam's responsibility. Additionally, after the immediate post-birth appointments, Beth never took baby A to a doctor's appointment, she always deferred that to Adam. Baby A's pediatrician has never met Beth. Beth even tried to get Chad to push back or intimidate him or something, but the local police where we live are under one hell of a microscope after a bunch of dirty cops got busted a couple of years ago. Basically, the cops, and the social worker they ended up calling, ended up saying there was nothing she could do until they get to court. The social worker tried to get her to go to therapy and parenting classes, but Beth refused and went on a 15-paragraph long rant on Facebook about how she doesn't need parenting classes or therapy. She really does though, and called the social worker some choice words. December the 19th to the 24th, just a bunch of ranting on social media, calling everyone who doesn't enable or justify her behavior cuss words, slurs, and a whole bunch of other horribly creative things. Also, both she and Chad are under investigation at work now, but she has no idea why. I'm gonna take this time to remind everyone that 99% of this info is coming from her public social media pages where her co-workers are friends and place of employment is listed. December 25th, I am officially embarrassed to know this woman. I didn't go on her FB page until the evening cause I didn't want to deal with drama, first thing in the morning, on Christmas. In the morning she put on a very beautiful blue maternity dress, got Chad in his police blues, and baby B in a purple romper, and then live streamed her and her family going to the courthouse to get married on Christmas Day. According to her Twitter, part of this was because their newest venue cancelled on them after COVID numbers spiked. Overall, a pretty tacky thing in my opinion, because she stated plain as day, several times, that she intended her wedding anniversary to eclipse Christmas for her children because it's just so much more special, you know? I am so glad that baby B's grandparents are filing for guardianship, but here's the thing. The courthouse isn't open. Because of COVID for one thing, but also because it's Christmas and Canada has a predominantly Christian history. She proceeded to have a full meltdown, and when baby B cried because, you know, the kid's mom was screaming up a storm and scaring her, Beth called her a CNT. Yup. So done with this bitch. December 28th, I ran into her at a vaccine clinic cause we were both getting our booster shots. She didn't recognize me at first, but one of my old bosses, cause I used to work at the hospital the vaccine clinic was in, called my name and said hi, so she came up to me after my old boss had left. We talked a bit while we sat down for the mandatory waiting period after getting the shot. She asked how I was but didn't even wait for me to respond before she started ranting and complaining about her life. I was just going to sit there until the time was up and then just politely make my exit, but when she started talking shit about her kids, something inside me snapped. I just said, "Do you even like your kids? Do you like being a mum?" She got pretty quiet for a second and then said no. Her voice and demeanor completely changed and we just sat in silence until our time was up. I said goodbye, but it was really awkward. December 31st, today, I just looked at her feed and, this is such a shocking what the actual F moment. She's thinking about giving up her kids. She went on about how recently she was asked if she liked her kids or being a mom, and how she realized that she didn't. She hates her children and blames them for ruining her life, and how she doesn't want to be a mom. I mean, nothing is official yet, but what the hell. I'll update as stuff happens now that I have the time, but this whole thing has been a big giant mess. Also, sorry for any formatting or grammatical errors, I'm not used to using Reddit on my PC. I mean, good for her for finishing her course. But the rest, damn, sounds so small town-ish. Probably is a small town if the dispatchers actually meet the officers face to face. I live in a small town in Texas. There are 2 dispatchers per shift. I've seen a cop friend cheat on his wife with a dispatcher. He knocked her up and dumped the wife. He treats the new woman's other kids like crap. He really isn't a friend anymore. I've lost respect for him, but not for the reasons stated here. This chick will be cheating with Adam's brother Dave next. Poor Adam, every guy in his family gets to take a turn with this woman and he's sat there like a reverse bullseye. He's mourning his lost love and has no idea what sort of nuclear artillery shell he dodged. Adam needs to GTFO of whatever small town this is and meet some other women. It's easy to stay stuck on one person when your social circle is so small, and you don't realize that there are plenty of non-nuclear contaminated fish in the sea until you leave Chernobyl. This made me actually lol. Well said. It sounds like the best, and maybe only, good thing she ever did for him was turning down his proposal. Has no idea what sort of nuclear artillery shell he dodged. True, but also duck him. Based on he's being possessive AF over this girl that turned him down. The fact that he's dividing the family because she's marrying his cousin instead of him shows he himself is a bullet dodged. Family reunions are gonna be awkward. Your username is also super appropriate for this story, lol. Is it rude of me to ask for updates? Maybe, maybe not, but if it is, I'll be rude right next to you. A supervisor I had at a job some years ago had a baby with her boyfriend. When the kid was about 1 or so, she broke up with her boyfriend and proceeded to have a baby with her boyfriend's brother. So her kids are both siblings and cousins. I recently read this article which says that that kind of relationship is way more common than most people realize. The article is mostly about people who help adoptees find their birth families and so on, but they also mention coining 3/4 siblings for half siblings who are also cousins. I mean, it's definitely more common in certain cultures. If a woman's husband dies, sometimes she is pretty much forced to marry one of his brothers. It was much more common in the late 1800s US, too. It's one of the various polygamy loopholes in the Christian Bible. If a woman's husband dies without already having a son, then she is supposed to wed her husband's brother, even if he's already married. Somehow it can end up with families being called the unsandaled. That whole book is just nuts. Super common. Especially in small towns. Like playing a game of 6 Degrees from Kevin Bacon, but instead of an actor it's your brother's penis. Just off the top of my head I can think of 3 couples that have sibling/cousin kids. Expand that to include people who've slept with 2 siblings or cousins, but didn't have a baby, in another family and, yeah, super common. TBH, it would be kind of impossible to avoid dating someone who was closely related to someone else you dated, once the town/dating pool is small enough. Luckily I don't know any 3/4 siblings, yay contraception, but for sure there are examples of someone dating a girl, her younger sister, then her cousin, etc. Iceland has a database of family relations people can search to avoid ending up in relationships with cousins. It's a nationwide thing there. I was just there a few months ago and learned about this. Had a few laughs with locals telling their stories of going on dates and then checking the app and calling off the second date. And given that the whole country is 300k people, it makes sense. And also makes their please come and visit, or even live here. Tourism marketing makes a lot of sense, got to expand that gene pool. Honestly, that's a major reason why I didn't date much in my small rural high school. We all felt kind of related in the first place because we'd spent as much time together as we had with our actual relatives. For me it was the everyone knows everyone's business aspect. I didn't, and don't, object to underage sex as long as it's all safe and consensual, but the idea that people would know about it squicked me out so much that I basically refrained from intimacy until university and dated an international student with no ties to the community. Lol. This is my only reaction to this. Where is the birth control? People can do what they want, sleep with whoever they want, cheat left, right and center, I don't care. But why does no one take any precautions? I don't even have anything against this girl having 3 kids with 3 different men, you do you girl, and you are allowed to change your mind. But there hasn't been any decision making here, just disaster relief, patching and misguided doing what's right that will end in the same way and for the same reason it started, because someone cheat. This girl is in every moment settling for whoever is willing to take care of her and the kid she is currently pregnant with out of duty. They never chose each other, they just had unprotected sex. Some women do it on purpose. Like my future sister-in-law, for example, who was already a single mother of a 5-year-old, got knocked up by purposely stopping her BC, within 2.5 months of dating my fiancé's older brother, who is a recovering alcoholic. She chose this 100%. She knows what birth control is because she intentionally stopped taking it. She literally chose to have a baby with a recovering alcoholic she's only known for 2 to 3 months. Some of them just have a complete lack of foresight. Did she tell you this? If yes, did she tell you why she did it? Fiancé's brother told my fiancé's sister that she purposely stopped taking birth control a couple months after they started dating. Sadly, we still have no clue to why she did it. She seems very high maintenance and the whole situation is perplexing to us. To add context to the high maintenance comment, FPL proposed to her when she was a few months pregnant. He involved her son in the proposal and she accepted. My fiancé's mom told me and I was happy for them. But then she randomly decided she didn't want to be engaged, and made him propose a second time on our family vacation in the summer, without her son. She left her son with my fiancé's parents. It's all very weird and we've only known her for a year, which makes it even more perplexing for me. Lol. Phew, she seems like a decent person but I don't know her that well. She obviously has a bad habit of making very hasty decisions without thinking them through. I just feel bad for her 5-year-old son because it must be difficult for him to watch his mom shack up with a new guy, get pregnant, get engaged, break off engagement, and get engaged again. Like all of this stuff plus a new baby within a year is just madness. I feel bad for the kid because it seems like she never stopped to think about her son or how he would be affected by her choices. Sorry this is way too long but it's hard to explain without any context. What backwater, redneck, towny ass crook of Appalachia did this take place? Edit. I live in a different province now. I'll take rural Ontario for $1,200 please, Ken. Ontario, Canada, in a city of 400,000 people. Beth comes from a small Bible thumper slash redneck neighborhood of like 4,000 people. She ended up going to high school in my neighborhood because the school she automatically would have gone to has had the lowest graduation rate and highest teen pregnancy rate since the 70s. Wow, ESH. I mean, the girl has definitely made some bad decisions. But to have her own family actively try and cause more issues is super shitty too. If you don't want her or her children around, don't talk to her. She's made a hard road for herself for sure, but they don't need to actively make it harder. Hell, it sounds like her family is partially why she's ended up this way in the first place. Her parents are not great people. I met them once and it was a thoroughly unpleasant experience. I would rather not elaborate at the moment. Her younger sister and her used to be super close, but when she got pregnant the second time she took the test while she was at a family friend's house for a holiday party, and when the positive test was found on the top of the trash and the hosts were trying to figure out whose it was, she told them it was her sister's, and got her sister kicked out for 2 weeks until she came clean and admitted it was hers. Since then her sister has hated her, especially because she refused to take her sister in at her apartment after sis got kicked out. Stuck in hell. I thought it was a big deal when we overheard Grandma say Mom's turkey stuffing is better than Aunt Belle's. Jesus H. Christ, her family sounds far worse than anyone else in this situation. So much drama. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.